The PDMS-2 has 6 subtests. They include reflexes, which is only 8 items, but because children are usually have all their reflexes integrated by the time they're 12 months, it's only given to children birth through 11 months. All the others are just scored, if they're above 12 months, it's just scored with all 2s. For stationary, it's 30 items, and it's just testing the child's ability to sustain control of his or her body and center of gravity. Then there's locomotion, which is 89 items, and it measures the child's ability to move, basically, from place to place. So it involves crawling, walking, running, hopping, and jumping.
The next subtest is object manipulation. This 24-item subtest measures the child's ability to manipulate balls. Examples of this action include catching, throwing, and kicking. Because these skills are not apparent until a child has reached the age of 11 months, the subtest is only given to children aged 12 months or older.
The next subtest is grasping. It's a 26-item subtest that measures a child's ability to use his or her hands. Then the final subtest is visual motor integration, which has 72 items, and it's the child's ability to use hand-eye coordination to achieve certain tasks, such as building blocks or copying designs. This is actually the subtest that we will be demonstrating for a 20-month-old. To determine the child's age, we use section 1 on the red sheet, and page in the examiner manual, it's pages 24 and 25. Gives you a really nice explanation of how to calculate the child's age in different situations. So for Adam, our testing date is 2015, of course, in the 10th month on the 20th day. And Adam's day of birth was 2014, the 2nd month, 16th day. So to find his chronological age, we subtract. So just in case your day is bigger than the day of birth is bigger than the testing day, you should start here because we might have to borrow. Adam's age works out that we don't. Obviously, you get a 4. And then for month, we get 8 months. And year is 1 year. Now, if the birthday had been bigger than the testing day, we would have had to borrow from the month column. So you borrow 30 days always. It's just 30 days. So then, on the red sheet, you have prematurity adjustment. Adam, we determined, is not premature. However, if he was, you would have to calculate that in as well, which is all explained in your examiner's manual. And then you would write the corrected age based on the prematurity adjustment. Then for Adam, you get age in months to be 20 months.
When administering the P-body, it's important to keep the materials off the table and out of sight so it's not a distraction while you're testing. All right, watch me build a tower. You build a tower. Good job. Put the shapes on the board. Great. All right, look at the book. That's all I say. Ooh, nice. All right, we're done with the book. Watch me build a tower. You build a tall tower. Oh, Adam. Yep. Draw a line down like I did. Good job. All right, Adam. Get the food. Good job. For item 38, the task was to build a tower, and to get a 2, he had to stack 2 to 3 cubes, and he was able to do that successfully, so I awarded him a 2.
For item 39, I had to place 2 of the shapes into the correct holes, and I put all 3 in, so I received a 2.
Adam was able to stack 5 cubes in item 38, so for number 40, we kind of just discarded it and gave him a 2 because he already accomplished the task.
For item 41, I was able to turn 3 pages one at a time, which awarded me a 2.
Item 42 was to insert shapes into the wooden board. He was able to put all 3 shapes in, so he also got a 2.
Item 43 was building a tower, and I was limited at 5 cubes stacked on the top of each other, so I was only given a 1. A 2 would have been 6 cubes.
Item 44 was to imitate vertical strokes. Unfortunately, he was only able to duplicate 2 2-inch strokes that were about 45 degrees apart. To get a 2, he had to make 2-inch long strokes within 20 degrees of vertical. To get a 1 was to make a 2-inch strokes long, and within 21 to 45 degrees of vertical. What's happening with my life?
For item 45, I was supposed to remove the lid, but because I only shook the bottle, I received a 0.
And item 46 was to build a tower, but he was not able to stack 8 cubes previously, or 7 cubes. And so since he was only able to stack 5, he was awarded 0. So when scoring, we're looking for 2s, 1s, or 0s, and it's clearly marked on the scoring sheet which ones he needs to achieve. The first number that we start off is based on the amount of months, so his adjusted age, which we'll talk about later, because we need to. But hopefully he'll get 3 2s in a row, which will establish the basal, and then we'll go until he gets 3 0s, which is the ceiling, and then at that point we stop the test and then score it.
Okay, for all of the scoring, we're using the examiner's manual, the blue book. And so we're going to start with Appendix A. And we take our score sheet, the red one, and we're using Adam's age in months. So for him, he's 20 months old. So then we go to Appendix A, and we picked the page that says age in months is 20 months. And we have to find we take his raw score, which we got in the blue book. We talked about how you calculate that using the 2s, 1s, and 0s. And we fill in the raw score column on the red sheet, which is the first column. Then we take the raw score to this table in order to find the percentile and the standard score. So percentile is over here and standard score is over here. Your standard score goes over here in this section. After that, we can go to Appendix C to get our age equivalents, which is the middle column in this section right here. And we take his raw scores to this table here and get all of his age equivalencies and fill them in on that section. Then you can go over to your quotients.
There are 3 quotients. They're all consisting of different parts of the test. The gross motor quotient is only ever going to consist of 3 parts, but it can consist of reflexes, stationary, locomotion, and object manipulation. The reason that changes is because since reflexes integrate around 12 months, it's either going to be using reflexes or object manipulation, which isn't used until after 12 months. The fine motor quotient consists of object manipulation, grasping, and visual motor integration. And finally, total motor quotient is going to be all parts of the test. After you get those scores, looking at the different raw scores in the test, then you take it to Appendix B in the Blue Book, and it has the different scores for gross, fine, and total. Then you'll actually use that to get your quotient and your percentile rank, which you'll actually write at the bottom of the sheet right here.
To understand what your scores really mean as far as the child's performance, you go to page 31 in the examiner's manual, and it has this nice little table where you take the standard scores to figure out where the child falls. So, like Adam had a standard score of 10 for his visual motor integration, which if you look at the score range over here, a 10 falls within the average range.